here at Hummingbird's Jägermeister Workbench, and we're going to talk about off the deep end. Sailfish, certainly you got to go off the deep end to find them. So
yes, you do. Me. Well, you know, Florida is probably one of the best places to go in the world to catch a sailfish. I mean, a lot of people catch their first one here. As a matter of fact, the sailfishing in the early 40s started big game fishing in the world from the Palm Beaches. You know, guys going out and catching big sailfish and sometimes tarpons started that whole deal. Wow. So, you know, the catching a sailfish is a long tradition in the state of Florida. You know, my wife's relatives used to catch them and smoke one on Thanksgiving Day, which we don't do anymore usually, but they used to do that every Thanksgiving. So, but anyway, there's 3 distinct ways that we catch sailfish in Florida, from Fort Pierce all the way down to West Palm. They're trolling dead baits, and they're trolling these kind of dead baits. You know, ballyhoo mostly. They're pulling a dredge for a big teaser. They festoon this thing with a bunch of mullets, and it swims like a giant school of fish. And on one side, they'll also have a teaser made full of squids. Usually, a green mold craft squid is probably the most common teaser that's known. But the bait that they're going to put out is usually nowadays a circle hook ballyhoo. And they use a circle hook because all the tournaments require them, and they work. That's another good reason to use them.
So you've created a bridle here.
Yeah, what this is called the X on the head, and it's pretty much just 3 overhand knots. And what you do is you just make that X head on the knot right there, and then you slip the hook underneath of it. It's easy. Just
not when you're blind like I am. I don't have my glasses.
I got you. Well, it slips underneath that knot.
Help me, Dave.
It slips underneath that knot. You've got it all in there, dude.
Because I couldn't see.
I got you. Well, it slips underneath that knot, and then it runs like that. And if you're pulling from the front up here, that thing's going to swim. And you can either use it like that as a skipping bait, or you can put a chin weight underneath of it like this to make it swim. And we'll put these swimming baits in the flat, and then, you know, because they're swimming really good, and we'll put these skipping baits out on the long so that we can see them. Some guys do it exactly the opposite, but I don't like putting my swimming baits out on my long because I can't see them as good when they're swimming really good in the water. Mm-hmm. If they're back too far, then I can't see the fish come up behind them. And if we see the fish come up behind this bait before he eats it, our chances of catching him goes way up, because the angler can get ready and drop back these circle hooks and drop back that bait. And because when the fish eats it, he has to swallow a circle hook for it to work. And if he doesn't swallow it and the guy's dropping back freely, then you'll bring the head back. And that's the sancocho, and that's not what we want.
Okay, so explain that, though, because circle hooks aren't designed to gut hook the fish.
Correct.
But explain why you mean swallow.
Well, when that hook is swallowed down, as you come tight and you don't jerk on the rod, you just come tight, it'll come up and find the corner of the mouth and pop right over and go right in the corner. Don't push it all the way in. You know, that thing will go right over the corner, and then you're in. And it won't come off either once he's on. Now, the most common way from Fort Pierce down to the Keys is kite fishing. We got a big AFCO kite over there, and what they'll do is they'll fly one of these big AFCO kites or any of the other fishing kites that they make, and every 75 feet from that kite down 75 feet, there'll be a swivel with a little release clip on it. And when that little release, and you put your bait in this clip, so that your bait is just skipping right on top of the water. A live bait, by the way. It's live bait kite fishing. And what they'll do is from this clip, there'll be a line that goes all the way down to the water, and a little live bait on it. And when a fish comes up and eats it, the clip will release, and you got an automatic drop back to the fish. And hopefully you're using a circle hook and he'll be on there. Now, the last way is down in the Keys, is they like to run and gun. They'll run to showering ballyhoo on the reef. You know, they'll see the fish in there showering the ballyhoo. So they'll get some live ballyhoos and they'll run up there, and usually with a spinning rod, they'll cast those live ballyhoos and they'll hook them like that up through the bottom of the jaw with a circle hook now. This is how we did it the other day with Alex Adler, just right up through the jaw. Throw them into the school of feeding sailfish, boom, you're on. And now we've got a sailfish in the Keys.
Very, very informative. Obviously, something that you are very familiar with.
Something that I know about, finally.
Good job.